What's up, guys? It's Joe here today for AETERNO UK, and welcome back to another F1 2014 Game Ideas video. And today we have a very special guest. It's Tiametmarduk, everyone. Welcome, Ben Daly. Say hi.
Hey guys, Ben here, or Tiametmarduk. It's a pleasure to be here for the F1 Network, trying to discuss some F1 2014 game ideas, and hopefully we can entertain you guys for the next couple of minutes.
Yep. So it's great to have you. Great to have you here, Ben. So so we're just going to be talking about mainly anything really that we want in the game, and I guess we'll just see where these next 10 minutes end up. It could go very, very wrong. We ended up talking about rabbits the other day, so let's hope we don't go down that.
Yeah, it would be very interesting.
I'll just open up the question randomly. What sort of things do you want on F1 2014?
There's a few things, but I'll start off simply. I think online needs to be a big consideration into this year's game. You saw with F1 2013, it was quite broken in the way that there was lots of lag and everything, and people couldn't really race each other. So if F1 2014's lag is fixed, then I think it'll be a really good game.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking actually in the last couple of episodes about 22-man lobbies, but I mean, personally, I'd just rather them fix the 16-man lobbies just so that we can have no lag. I mean, I watched the Codemasters PC League, and some people, I mean, it's just ridiculous, really. I mean, a lot of F1 related games, I suppose, on PC don't have the same sort of problems. So I think, just seeing as they're starting afresh, I guess if they could just get those 16-man lobbies right, then hopefully we should be good for the future. So
yeah,
anything else?
Yeah, they definitely need to work on the 16-man lobbies before they can even think about expanding those lobbies. But in terms of actually adding things in, I think it would be awesome if they could go and focus on career mode and single player a bit more, rather than like classic mode you saw last year. They put a big emphasis on that, and in the end, people didn't really play that game mode a bit, which is a bit disappointing. But hopefully this year they can focus more on career mode and maybe return to some of the things that they ventured with, or like on 2010, how you could like be the driver, have podium interviews, like interviews and stuff like on 2010. I've seen with your career mode, you can do all kinds of things with the 2010 thing. So that's really cool, and I'd really like it if they sort of went back to their grassroots in a way.
Yeah, I did. I had so much fun recording the F1 2010. I've had so much fun doing it, and I think it is just sort of like it is as if you're the driver. If you feel like you're the driver, then what's better than that? I mean, it's what you buy. If you buy the game, then you're obviously an F1 fan, and you obviously dream to be an F1 driver and what have you. So it is something that's absolutely fantastic, and I think the last couple of years, 2012 and 2013, the career modes were very stale in a way. Haven't really moved anywhere. So yeah, I think like you mentioned about classics as well. We were actually talking with Josh, Smooth Racing. If you haven't checked that video out, then do. And we were actually talking about classics, and he actually mentioned that was one of the main things that he wanted to see back, but just concentrating on one season, which I think is going to be difficult with licensing. Getting all the teams to sort of agree to be on the game. But maybe if they could just get it over a few years, maybe just 2 or 3 years scope, rather than having like 10 years grouped into one and only have like 10 cars on the grid. So I'd personally like to see them just stick to career mode. But if that's perfected and online's perfected, I think a lot of people will buy it. So that's very, very interesting about that. So any other modes or game modes or anything that you'd like to see, maybe?
Maybe with online, you could probably introduce like online practice sessions where you could come together with friends, just join whenever you want, maybe even the middle of the session. I think the ease of access needs to be a little bit better with online. You could just join into a qualifying session and just get straight into it, like you do on Call of Duty or something. You just join the game mid-session and go. But yeah, online practice sessions would be really cool, so you can
Yeah, I
suss
think it
out
would.
setups and just be a little bit more social, I guess, and trying to all collectively be a little bit faster. But
Yeah, I think that's a good point actually. I mean, maybe if they could just do like someone hosts a online practice session and it's just like on unlimited time and they just end the session whenever they want to. So people can just like jump in and out and like you say, I mean, it can often be difficult to get setups in something like time trial offline because it's not representative of what you're going to be doing in a league race especially.
no.
So, yeah, it's a very very good point that is. So,
Yeah, very interesting. But in terms of other things, you mentioned career mode before and how it can get stale after a while. I think F1 needs to go down almost the FIFA route in that it allows teams or players or okay, just trying to convert this. Codemasters should allow the drivers to change teams year on year so that it's not the same boring old Fernando Alonso at Ferrari for 10 years in a row, or whatever it is. Just having different drivers go to different teams, I think it would really spice it up a little bit. But yeah,
yeah,
what do you
I
make of
know.
that?
Yeah, I know I understand. For Codemasters, I actually feel quite sorry for them a lot of the time with all the licensing issues that they got. But I thought it was interesting. Another point that has already been made about, like in the young drivers test, you've got other drivers driving those cars. So maybe if you could have drivers coming up from the ranks, so like drivers like Kimi Raikkonen maybe retiring in a couple of years, and then you've got like maybe Jules Bianchi coming into Ferrari, then someone else coming into Marussia. Because all these drivers have obviously got links to a lot of teams. Like you've got Kvyat and Verne both linked with Red Bull. Maybe they could come up through the ranks. So I'm sure it'd obviously be difficult for them, but I do think I'd add, like you say, an extra element to stop it being stale. So yeah, I think career mode really is what they need to be concentrating on. Obviously, a lot of people, including yourself, just concentrate on that on the channels as well. So yeah, online, like I say, like we've already said about the practice sessions, you just need to make it a lot more. I don't know the word, more accessible. I think that's what you
Yeah,
said.
yeah,
So
that's right.
yeah, any other, like I say, any other game modes, or would you just prefer them to concentrate on online and career mode?
I'm not too sure what they could do in terms of game modes. Nothing really springs to mind that I could really think of. Just little things that I'd like to see in the game, like customizable helmets, is a big thing people have
Yeah,
been calling for. Replay cameras, specifically for online, so you could like save them and maybe just have a look at them, see if people were cheating, or just get a better view for making a video or something. That'd be really cool. Another thing, pit stops in qualifying and practice. If
yeah,
running out of time in the qualifying session, you don't want to go into the garage and waste about a minute and a half getting in then getting out. You just want to go into the pits and just do a quick tyre stop like they do in real life. So just little things like that I think would make the game a lot more realistic, like we see other games trying to replicate, I think.
yeah. I think it is just like the small things that I mean. I think it was it Arava yesterday on about the handling model improving
Yeah.
year on year. I mean, it's things like that they are actually very good at, just improving the small things. But it is going to be very very difficult this year. Obviously, the car's handling a lot differently. But yeah, it's a very very exciting time at the moment. They obviously haven't released any information, um, but yeah, it's a difficult one of other things that they can add in really. But I think we've established that it would be good for them to really concentrate on career mode and online. I'm trying to think of any other things that you could sort of pull. Any other things that you'd like to maybe see them pull from former games?
Um, Manual pit stops. On 2010, you had manual pit stops where you had
Yeah,
to slow down to under the speed limit and then slow down for the box. You even had a pit speed limiter that you had to press
yeah,
to go up to speed. So that'll be really cool. So like with the loss of manually using your KERS now, I think you could assign that button for maybe the pit speed limiter again. Who knows? I think it'd be really really good to see that come back.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I actually really enjoyed going back to F1 2010 and seeing that. It'd be really good for league racing, especially. You know, it's those little things where races can be won and lost, and it adds those extra elements in, I think, and I think people will appreciate it. You know, and I know that the sales have dramatically dropped year on year of the game, so maybe just concentrate on satisfying people like you, me, and the people who are watching this, obviously interested F1 fans, and if they give them what they want, they'll play it for longer. I mean, the online lobbies is ridiculous. You know how few people are actually still playing the game. So yeah, it's an interesting point about these little things that they could add in. And yeah, so what three main ideas would you want them to implement into the game?
Yeah, just some of the things we forward, just more emphasis on online and career mode. One thing I didn't mention before, but I think this would be an absolute pipe dream I'd love to see come in eventually, is where you could be like a team manager or something and come in
Yeah.
and start your own team, manage your drivers, choose the liveries and sponsors and all that kind of thing, design the car, upgrades. That'd just be absolutely awesome. And you have like a budget or something, whether you go for pay drivers or talented drivers, or all drivers are talented, but there's different varying levels. So you could manage that and that sort of thing. I think that'd be really awesome. But I think F1 is a fairly developed franchise. There's some small bugs that they need to get rid of, but for the most part, I think they've got a lot of features in there that I really like. But yeah, what about you?
Yeah, I think it's a good point that you make about the manager game. I mean, maybe by the time that they've made that, Maldonado might have got lost out of the sport, and you could bring him back. How great would that be?
That'd be awesome.
But it's a good point, because I know Steve Hood a lot has gone on about how he's wanted to do that sort of game, maybe one day, because I know that they made an F1 challenge game, 99 to 2002. So maybe if they could do that with a manager's game. Over like a few seasons or something like that, maybe because I think they've got the rights from all the way back from 2009. So yeah, if they could make a game where you manage your team from maybe back in 2009 and try to develop the team over those years, or maybe just integrate it into a normal game. So yeah, I think myself, I'd like to just see them improve the career mode, because that's what I spend most of my time doing, or I would if it was good. And and online, just I mean, I joined the league back at the start of 2013. I did one season in it. I just didn't start. I just wasn't really enjoying it. A lot of people dropped out. So I think if they did improve the online, a lot more people would play it, and leagues would be a lot more successful. So yeah, I think just mainly those two things for myself. And yeah, I suppose that just about wraps it up. Really, it's been absolutely fantastic having you on today and giving you your ideas. Hopefully, this can give people at Codemasters possibly ideas of what they could bring into the game. So, like I say, it's been fantastic having you on today, and maybe if you'd just like to say a few final words.
Yep, just want to say thanks to Joe for having me on. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hopefully I haven't embarrassed myself too much. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video as well. Subscribe to Joe if you haven't already. But yeah, for me, that's it. For me, I'll hand over to Joe for the final words.
I'm not going to say subscribe to Ben, because I presume all of you already are. But yeah, if you haven't, then I don't know what you've been doing, where you've been living. But yeah, I will put a link down in the description just in case there is like one or two of you that haven't subscribed. But yeah, don't worry, you've only embarrassed yourself in front of 700 people rather than 30,000. So like I say, it's been fantastic having you on. And yeah,